They're going to make the call that's best for the team. You can make the argument maybe they shouldn't play. Look at the Rams. Sean McVay doesn't play any of his starters during the preseason, and they've done pretty well. Even with a roster that is a complete, a salary cap thing. Their payroll is a mess. That's a team that should have fallen on its face after that Super Bowl. And they really haven't. And that's a credit to McVay and his coaching staff. He doesn't play anybody in the preseason. Our Birds don't really push it with the preseason as far as their starters. It's just it's heading that direction, right, overall. And has been for a while. I think every year it becomes more and more this way. So, you can look at that as, is this more going to the conversation about sports getting soft or softer than you and I and other folks that we know would prefer? Maybe. I know there was a lot of outrage earlier this week about the kickoff rules surrounding onside kicks, where now you have to be behind to kick an onside kick. It has to be the fourth quarter, and you have to tell the other team that you're doing it. And a good friend of mine, Chris, texted me all that stuff the other day and was like, hey, do you, this is more sports getting soft. And I don't disagree with him. And I told him as much. I said, I don't disagree. I think sports is getting softer overall. That example, though, kind of feels like there's more egregious stuff going on. Like the quarterbacks are going to wear that freaking thing around their head, right? You can't even barely touch them anymore. I'm wondering when they're just going to put flags on them. But this with the kickoff stuff, look, how often is it that we that the team leading actually kicks an onside kick? I get it. New Orleans in the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm talking about one example. 99.9% of the time, it is the losing team. It is late in the game. And the other team knows what's coming. The winning team knows what's coming. It's not a surprise. So really, that one in particular just kind of feels like they're just writing what kind of is already happening. You want to talk about sports getting soft? Sure. These guys are, they'll miss time for a hangnail or a blister or a sprained pinky or, that sort of thing. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. The outside kick rules. Yeah. I mean, I guess, you're never going to see a play like that again in the Super Bowl or whenever, like what the Saints did against the Colts. But how often is that really going on anyways? So I don't know. I can't make too much of us think about that. But over here in the room, we know we have Fanny. We know we have Mike English. We know we have Keenan Harmon. I saw somebody here. Mike English for Hall of Fame and those jerked off Yankees. Smarter than the Mets. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm not really convinced of that right now. You guys have heard I'm not going to keep going over that. Or Quimby lapsed on the YouTube bill as well. No, this show started normal. There was no popping in mid-sentence. I played a song to start the show, and then I got right into it. So I don't know if maybe there was a delay on YouTube's end, but that's got nothing to do with what's going on here tonight. Fanny, have you guys seen the video of CJ making the free throw shot? Yeah, I posted it in our group earlier. Was it earlier today or last night or whatever? So I guess, to try to get out of a team meeting, they gave CJ the opportunity to bury a three-pointer or what would be three-point distance. And if he makes it, they're out. And he steps right up and just nails the jumper, and the whole room goes bananas. And my quote on that was what? Does this really look like a team that's having internal issues? It doesn't, right? I mean, you got some of this Philadelphia sports media that's just trying to create ongoing drama between Hurts and Sirianni. What's going on in the locker room. Stuff like that makes it look like everything's fine. Look, It's a huge locker room. It's a lot of big personalities, okay? This is a room full of at least 53 alpha males. And then throw in the coaches who are also alpha dogs, right? Not everybody's going to get along, folks. It's impossible. I apply it to work as well. The teams that I manage at work, I tell them, I understand. It is not a reasonable request for me to tell you, you all have to like each other. Not going to happen. You're talking about dozens of people. All that has to happen is they have to respect each other and be able to work together to do the job. You can apply that to any team, right? Whether it's my world in logistics and warehouse or an NFL team, it's the same concept. Now, more difficult in an NFL locker room, big, huge dudes, all of them alpha dogs. That's different. I don't think there's, while there might be some variations in their personalities, overall, they're all alpha men, right? So at some point, there's going to be a clash. It's going to happen. But just what you saw in that video that Fanny mentioned, they look like they're having a good time. And so all the sports media just needs to stop, right? Stop trying to create all this drama. Enough. This isn't politics, right? This isn't the presidential election. This is a football team. Leave them alone. Let them do their job. What do we got here? Fanny, football pretty soon is going to be like playing tag. Yep, I agree. Mike English, we're talking onside kickoffs. Well, that was the rule. That was the thing that got announced this week. Look, like I said, I'm not making us think about it. It is what it is. And Mike English, again, Philadelphia sports media is just clickbait anymore. Dude, I'll be honest with you. That's what I see when I'm going through Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it now, or Facebook or whatever. It's just clickbait. It's just how many views can I get? No matter how ridiculous, annoying, or whatever the article or comment or whatever, or post or whatever is, tweet or whatever is. That's all it's about. Let me get my 15 minutes of fame. Fuck off. Anyways, let's get down to the business and stuff here first so we can start having some fun. You guys know I warn all the time that we may not go an hour. And I'll tell you why that might be the case this evening in just a minute. Everyone, we are sponsored by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Just minutes away from the sports complex, Cheerleaders brings you the area's most beautiful women on 5 different stages. Open 7 days a week from noon to 2 a.m. and until 4 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. For group information, call 215-467-1980 and reserve a private booth and party package. Also offering free parking, a full menu, daily drink and food specials, and a premium selection of cigars and a cigar lounge. If you're looking for a place to watch your favorite sporting event, head on out to Cheerleaders and enjoy the 75-foot HD TV wall, as well as HD TV screens throughout the entire club. Once again, folks, that is Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Call 215-467-1980. Again, this is usually the part where I tell you if you're tuning in on Facebook or Twitter that YouTube is better. We only have YouTube, so come on into YouTube. This is all we've got right now, and that might be the case for a while. I don't know. I don't really. It's a busy time for Quimby, and excuse me, I'm going to share this our show here on a couple of different platforms. But this is it's a busy time. We're getting close to the season now. We're only a month away. That means Brazil is coming up a month from now. That means all of the travel is going on. So you're shoring up tickets and all kinds of stuff is really the name of the game right now. Getting the Twitter and Facebook hooked back up to Streamyard, which is the service we use to do these shows, to stream these shows to you, is just not the highest priority right now. And I get it. I mean, it stinks. I love you guys, but when we have additional platforms, we have additional viewers. And without that, we lose a lot of viewership. So, and the goal is always to spread this everywhere. So you guys are on here right now. Click that little thing and start sharing this on Facebook and X and everywhere else. Do us that favor every week. All right. And along with that, the road trips themselves, right? I see Fanny here. Told my family about the tailgate. There we go. Told my family about the tailgate. Now everyone wants to come to Cincy, even non-Eagles fans. So I have to purchase them in increments. It's trips.greenlegion.com. Right at the bottom of your page, right at the bottom of the screen here. That will scroll on the bottom of the screen throughout the entire show. Trips.greenlegion.com for any of your home tailgate in Philadelphia or road trip packages. And that includes if you're in the local area where we're playing and you just want to book some game day options. Trips.greenlegion.com. Click on the invasion that you're looking for, be it Cincinnati, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Los Angeles. There will be a little box there to click for game day only options. You can go there. You can select to go to our pep rally, which will be the night before the game. You can select to go to our tailgate day of the game, and also pair either of those together with a ticket or purchase all three. The only thing you can't do is you can't buy just a game ticket. All right. So you're going to have to, to get it to be able to purchase a ticket, you got to do something else with this. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that'll change as we move forward, but that's the way it is right now. So, Keenan Harmon, what is that? Trio should be highlighted because I am tripping whenever I'm at a Green Legion affair. But it's a great time. And anybody who's been on one of these trips will tell you, it's the best in the business. There he is. We missed him last week. David Califoot in the room. Yankees suck. Mm-hmm. Yep. And Aaron Judge is a bum too, right? I need to regurgitate the stats against your freaking Red Sox last weekend? Or have you had enough? How's it going, brother? I know you're out there on the road. Hope everything's going well. But let's try to get through some things here. So I'm going to open the show with okay. This is probably going to rub some people the wrong way. I don't know that I can continue to keep my mouth shut about it, though. I have tried to in order to avoid, any kind of cancel culture or whatever dumb shit. But to be honest with you, there's just some things that can't go unsaid. Okay. So boner of the week. And I think we're going to go twofold here with boner of the week. Well, three. Let me start with the first one that just happened a couple of hours ago. So I am leaving tomorrow morning to drive to Dyersville, Iowa. If nobody knows what is out there, it is the Field of Dreams, where the movie was filmed. Yes, it's an actual place. It's not just the MLB field that's out there. The movie site has been there the whole time. My sons and I are driving out there for an event over the weekend. And I'll give you the details on that in just a minute. So come home from work a little earlier today. Need to get over to the rental car office to pick up my car for the weekend because we are going to drive. Trying to fly to Cedar Rapids or Dubuque or whatever was a gigantic pain in the ass. And really, it's a 7.5 hour drive, which is like, geez. But when you figure getting up in the morning, and it would take me about an hour to get to either airport, an hour and a half ahead. So I'm 2.5 hours right there. The flight and you can't fly direct from here. So the flight with any connections is probably 3 to 4 more hours. And I still have to rent a car and all of that shit. It wasn't worth it for 7.5 hours. We'll just drive. So I went to go pick up the rental car. All right. Get home. My wife had taken a half a day to take the kids to do some school stuff, back to school stuff next week. It's bullshit, but there's another boner of the week candidate. Maybe next week we'll talk about that. But she was in the middle of trying to make dinner early. And so she couldn't take me over to the rental car office. So I took an Uber. I don't really have trouble around here. It might take them a few extra minutes to get over to me. It's just not a very dense. I mean, there's a lot of people, but it's not like a city. I'm in a suburb. So requested it. He's 15 minutes out. All right, no worries. Was hoping for a little quicker, whatever. Guy pulls up. I don't notice it right away. Get in the car. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm good, man. Kind of standoffish a little bit. Start driving, and I notice all the windows are down. Now, I understand it is very hot there in Philadelphia, but as Fanny can attest to, it has been brutally humid out here for a few days now, and today was really awful. The temperature was like 90 or 91 or whatever, 90, I think, and the real field temperature was 102. And this guy is driving, mind you, we're not getting on the highway, okay? This is just going across town. So it's a lot of stop and go. The sun is out. It's like 75% humidity. It is brutal. This guy will not roll the windows up despite my requests. He won't turn the air on. But the whole time, he's wiping his brow with a rag. And I'm thinking to myself, like, look, dude, if your AC is broken, just tell me your AC is broken. Because at this point, I'm looking at him like he is the world's biggest asshat in that moment. He is sweating like a hog himself. I'm dying in the back seat. It's freaking hot. We're stopped at traffic lights. It has been, so now there's all the cars around you too, and it's just brutal. And this dude will not turn it on. So if his air, here's the problem. If his air wasn't broken, which he did not tell me it was broken, he just didn't turn it on. The only other thing I can come up with, and this is why he's our first boner of the week, is, are you seriously one of these people that thinks that keeping your air off and rolling down all your windows actually saves you gas? Because it is proven that that is a crock of shit. Your windows being down actually creates more resistance when driving your car, which forces the car to work harder to gain your speed, which in turn burns more gas. Without him actually telling me that his air didn't work, I have no choice but to think he's one of these people that thinks rolling down your windows is going to save you gas money. And that's just not the case. So he drops me off. I get out of the car. I am like dying. Get in the rental car office. We're good. Now I'm waiting in line. Right, the girl behind it. She's there by herself, so she had a bit of an attitude with people, but I almost didn't blame her. It's almost 5 o'clock at this point. It's hot as hell. You're in and out of the building because people are saying, "Oh, there's a scratch here. There's a dent there. You didn't know." Blah 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 blah. Now they don't have the car that I wanted to rent. I'm a 4-door sedan. Right, I drive an SUV as my car, but I wanted a 4-door. So I want something better on gas. I'm going to drive 500 miles. Right. They don't have it. She says, "Well, we can downsize you into this thing." And it was like a pack of gum with wheels on it. Or for no additional charge, we can put you in a Dodge Challenger Hemi engine. I'll give you one guess which one I took. So what I thought was going to be a 7.5-hour drive tomorrow might be a little less than that. I'm going to have to watch it with the speed because, man, oh man, you just touch the gas on that thing and the freaking car wants to take off. But yeah, this Uber driver, like the nerve. Boner of the week, number 1. Boner of the week, number 2. This is Fanny. Oh my God, hot as fish grease. It's terrible out here. Sometimes drive is better. Like walking through warm peanut butter. Yeah, dude, terrible. Sweating like a prostitute in church. That would be right. Yeah, English. They're back to school next week. It's actually a week earlier than like every other school district around here, and I can't stand it. I hate it for the kids. They're missing out on all of August, basically. But it is what it is. No, Fanny, not a Hellcat. So that Uber driver, I complained. Once I got done at the rental car office, I made a complaint, and they reimbursed me just about half the fare. And I rated the guy low. I did not tip him, obviously. And they asked if there was anything else that I needed from them. And I just basically told them, look, I know this probably isn't going to go anywhere, but if you could try very hard not to have this dude do that to anyone else in this weather. Like, look, I'm 45 years old. I'm in reasonably good health. So while it was uncomfortable, miserable, and not what I expected to pay for, it's really that pisses me off. That I paid for this ride. This guy was a douche and wouldn't turn his air on. What happens if it's like an older person or someone with breathing issues or something like that, and they got to get in that car? That's what I'm concerned about. So hopefully, like I said, it probably fall on deaf ears, but I had to try. Keenan Harmon, challenges are good on gas. Just keep the windows up. I mean, it's a full tank of gas right now, and it said I've got like 460 miles or whatever. So I'll have to fill up once, just about on the way out. And then I'm going to be real touchy about it coming back because I paid for the tank of gas ahead of time, so I can bring that thing back on dead empty, and it won't matter. So I'm going to be watching how much I spend coming back. And then we're in Dyersville, Iowa, which, again, I'll get into detail on that in a minute. Mike English. My old college roommate left windows down all the time. I told him it's worse on gas, but he's starting it. I don't know why people – look, it used to be a thing. People used to believe that, and it's been debunked, basically, especially as cars have, evolved, become more aerodynamic. You're actually hurting the performance of the vehicle by doing this. So, anyways, there it is. Mike English. Perfect. Car's better aerodynamics. I went from a 4Runner an IS300 and won't look back. Yeah, they build them differently now. They're not just boxes with wheels on them. So they cut through the wind. And when you just roll your windows down, it creates more resistance. It's fucking science, people. Okay, boner of the week number 2. Before we get to the grand slam of it all. Earlier today, we got reports that due to a torn meniscus, Angels center fielder Mike Trout will be done for the season. Anybody who's a baseball fan in any way, shape, or form should not come as any kind of surprise. However, here we are again. Same story, different chapter. And my boner of the week with this is not so much Mike Trout, but all of your talking head sports experts who will once again during this offseason preach about, well, Mike Trout's going to be back and, he'll be on a mission and blah, blah, blah. Folks, throw out 2020 because that was the COVID year, okay? He has not gone over 140 games played since 2016, okay? 2017, he plays 114. 2018, he plays 140. 2019, he plays 134. COVID year 2020, plays 53. Nobody cares. Then just 36 games in 2021, 119 in 2022, 82 games last year, and now just 29 this year. For how great he was in his first, what is that? I mean, forget 2011. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And 3 of those years are 114, 140, and 134 games played. But for as great as he was with the 3 MVPs and everything, he's just not on the field. This guy's going to turn 33 years old next week. So this is kind of a preemptive strike on what's going to be upcoming with the talking heads in your baseball experts that are going to be worshiping the ground that Mike Trout walks on because he's going to come back healthy next year. He's going to come back healthy for how long? 29 games? 53 games? 100 games? Sorry, dude. You play 162. All right? Now, nowadays, nobody plays 162, so I get it. But 29 games, 82 games, 119 games, 36 games, 114 games, 134. Come on, man. I rip Joel Embiid for this stuff. With the NBA, with all their load management, I'm not going to back off Mike Trout because he's a baseball player. Get out of here. So your Harold Reynolds, who I happen to admire and really enjoy, but you folks like that are going to start pounding about how great Trout is again, I don't want to hear it anymore. There was a time when he was on pace to go down as one of, if not the greatest player ever, and that's just not going to be the case. It's not. I will tell you, if he could never get on a baseball field right now, if he could never get back on a baseball field right now, he would finish with a career 299 batting average, 378 homers, 954 RBIs, 212 stolen bases, and a 410 on base percentage. 3 MVPs and a Rookie of the Year. No postseason success to speak of, which is also something I've ripped Trout about before. He could have gone free agent and signed anywhere, and you can make us think about the whole thing. Well, he's just being loyal. I think there's something to be said about that. I personally believe he didn't want the limelight. He didn't care about winning. He cared about being comfortable, which that's his choice. But it's also puts you in a spot where, hey, dude, you could have signed in Philly. You could have signed in New York. You could have signed you could have gone to the Dodgers and been in the postseason. And you chose not to do that. So now you get called kind of a chicken shit too. I don't know. If he couldn't step on a baseball field ever again, as of right now, I mean, he would probably still make the Hall of Fame, but the overall numbers are not there. The 3 MVPs would put him in. Mike English, here we go. And all the dopes around here that want Trout to come back to his hometown of Millville, New Jersey. Yeah, I don't get it. Keenan Harmon Trout is hurt more than the Kobe team. Oh, God. All right, finally, let's wrap up the boner of the week portion here. And this one's probably going to rub some people the wrong way. And I'd like to say I'm sorry. People born as biological men should not be allowed to compete in sports against people born as biological women. Period. End of story. It was one thing when we had to hear about swimmers and, maybe gymnastics or figure skating or volleyball or something like that. It becomes too much, far, far, far too much for me to keep my mouth shut when we start talking about boxing. Okay? Listen, if there is a professional female boxer and I got in the ring with her, she would wipe the mat with me. Okay? I have no trouble admitting that. I do not care. That's a professionally trained fighter. I am a schmuck. I'm a professionally trained jackass. However, when you want to take a professionally trained woman and put her in the ring with a professionally trained person who was born a man that wants to be a woman, that's an entirely different story. The training levels are now the same, and men are bigger, faster, and stronger. You are creating a situation where someone is going to get overboard hurt, okay? You have to be living under a rock to not know what happened at the Olympics. Italian boxer quits bout. Angela Carini stopped fighting only 46 seconds into her matchup against Emane Khalif of Algeria, who had been barred from a women's event last year. She abandoned her bout at the Paris Olympics after only 46 seconds on Thursday, refusing to continue after taking a heavy punch from an Algerian opponent who had been disqualified from last year's World Championships over questions about her eligibility to compete in women's sports. She withdrew after her opponent landed a powerful blow that struck Carini square in the face. Carini paused for a moment, then turned her back to her opponent and walked to her corner. Her coaches quickly signaled that she would not continue, and the referee stopped the fight. Khalif, age 25, was permitted to compete at the Olympics even though she had been barred last year after boxing officials said she did not meet eligibility requirements to compete in a women's event. Another athlete also barred from last year's World Championships under similar circumstances, Lin Yu Ting, has also been cleared to fight in Paris. The International Boxing Association, which ran those championships and ordered the disqualifications, offered little insight into the reasons for the boxer's removal, saying in a statement that the disqualifications last year came after and I quote, the athletes did not undergo a testosterone examination, but were subject to a separate and recognized test. The association said that the test, the specifics of which it were confidential, conclusively indicated that both athletes did not meet the required necessary eligibility criteria and were found to have competitive advantages over other female competitors. The presence in the women's Olympic competition has become the latest flashpoint in the politically charged debate over gender and fair play sports. The International Olympic Committee, which is overseeing the boxing competition, said the disqualifications last year at the 23 championships had been sudden and arbitrary, and it defended their right to fight in Paris. Every person has the right to practice sport without discrimination. I agree. 100% you should be allowed to fight as a man. If I walked into that other room, let's forget that. I gave the analogy before. If my fat ass got into the ring with a professionally trained female boxer, she'd wipe the mat with me, right? We're all in agreement there. I think a lot of you would feel the same way. However, if my fat ass walked into a ring and the other fighter is just your average run-of-the-mill woman, like I'm an average run-of-the-mill guy, do you think we should be allowed to fight? Do you really think like I should be allowed to throw on gloves and walk over and belt that woman? Come on. Carini declined to shake Khalif's hand after her defeat was announced, then fell to her knees in the rings and began to cry. I am heartbroken, she told reporters afterward. I went to the ring to honor my father. I was told a lot of times that I was a warrior, but I preferred to stop for my health. I have never felt a punch like this. No shit, because you fight women and you just got in the ring with a guy. She added, I got into the ring to fight. I didn't give up. But one punch hurt too much, so I said, enough. I'm going out with my head held high. Carini declined to say if Khalif should have been allowed to participate. She says, I am no one to judge this match. I am not a referee. So she took the high road there. Thursday's forfeit sparked strong reactions in Italy, where the prime minister called the fight, and I quote, a match that did not seem on equal footing. Athletes who have male genetic characteristics should not be admitted to female competitions. Clarissa Shields, a professional boxer who in 2012 became the first American woman to win an Olympic gold medal, said in an interview that she did not remember undergoing testosterone testing when she competed as an amateur. Yeah, because 12 years ago, this shit wasn't going on. She said women with naturally high testosterone levels should not be punished and that there should be transparent testing protocols. So I read another article about this where Karini's coach actually looked at her before the bout and said, you don't have to get in there. Okay, we can just stop right now. You don't have to get in there. And she decided to get in anyways and give it a shot. And she took a couple of blows and realized right away, we're not on equal ground here. And so she has to forfeit. I'm sorry, folks. We talked a little about the whole Leah Thomas thing with the swimming. I pretty much stayed away from all the political, like the article says, politically charged crap. I can't with this anymore. You've gone too far. You've let this person into a boxing ring with male characteristics and allowed that person to fight a biological woman. Think about it. Lou, Keenan, Mike, Dave, Califoot, think about it. If you got into the ring, just you average American male, and you got into the ring with an average American woman, do you think it's going to be a fair fight if you throw on gloves? Right? I'm not talking about anybody being trained boxers here. I'm talking about just like if they plucked you and an average female off the street and said, get in the ring, this is a sanctioned fight. Seriously? Come on, guys. You got to back me up on this. It's just out of control. There is no bigger boner of the week, boner of the year than this sort of thing. And it may come back that she just has high testosterone. I don't know, look awful manly to me, but either way, we know this stuff is going on, and it has to stop. Somebody's going to get really, really hurt. It could have happened to this poor girl, right? It could have happened to her, but she decided to withdraw before it did. Do we need a Rocky IV moment here before people wake up? Come on, man. Give me a break. All right. Little Mancini in the room. How you doing, my brother? Who are we talking about? Yeah, you joined late, man. I just got in the middle of my boner of the week rant here. Keenan Harmon, create a new class where transgenders can only compete against other transgenders. You got another problem there. You're still going to have the issue. You'd have to have two more classes. You'd have to have a class of biological males who want to be women against each other, and then a class of biological women who want to be men against each other. It's too much. I'm sorry. It's just too much for me. Look, if that's the answer to stop stuff like this from happening, fine, do it. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, killed, or otherwise. Mike English, the female boxing match between the two ladies where one was a dude. Oh, Califoot, that's just gross, dude. Like, what is your problem, bro? Yeah, I didn't know which one was the dude. I mean, the one that punched like a dude. Keenan Harmon, girls are whipping my ass because I couldn't bring myself to hit them back because it's wrong. It's wrong to hit a female, right? It's just not, don't do it. Mike English, 50 years, it'll all be trans? Dude, if that's the case, I'm glad I'll be off this rock by that point. Whew. All right, Mancini. No, Dave, there's no bigger boner of the week than this. Although, go ahead. I mentioned Mike Trout and my freaking Uber driver earlier. But if you've got a better candidate, by all means. So, anyways, that's the boner of the week. I got 3 of them. Uber driver, the talking heads continuing to hype up Mike Trout as if he's the greatest baseball player that ever lived, even though he's never on a baseball field. And then, of course, this crap going on over at the Olympics. Okay, so I mentioned before I was picking up a rental car. Told you I was going to Iowa, all right? And the place is Dyersville, Iowa. It is the site of the Field of Dreams movie site. Now, in recent years, they put an actual Major League Baseball field adjacent to the movie site field and house. But before that, there was that movie site, the field, the house, all of that has been there the entire time. And it's been a tourist attraction. Now, as Califoot will attest to, you have to drive out in the middle of nowhere to go see it. But for a guy like me, who loves baseball, the Field of Dreams is kind of like a Graceland, right? It's heaven. I've got a thing right up here on my wall. So the boys and I, as part of our huge 2019 baseball trip, we made a stop there. So we got to see the movie site before it went commercial with the big field and the baseballism store and so on and so forth. Well, that Christmas, I bought the boys and myself one of these. It's the Major League Baseball ballpark passport. All right. And in here, you have a page for every ballpark. So let's just open it up. And this is the Los Angeles Angels. All right. And the idea is you go there and there is a spot to get a stamp. And every ballpark has a specific stamp. It says the name of the ballpark. Let me find one. Here's Great American Ballpark, right? There's the stamp right there. Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio, and the date. And then the validations, the signature underneath. Every single ballpark is represented in here. So is the Hall of Fame. So is the Louisville Slugger Factory. So is the Negro League Museum out in Kansas City. And so is the Field of Dreams. And so I was able to get all these stamps for my boys. Each of my sons have one of these as well. And it's a really cool program. The guy who runs it lives about 15 minutes north of me. He's a really nice guy. And because this product has had so much success, it's allowed him to do some really fun things with the community. There is a Facebook page where all of us, have joined, and we take pictures of the stamps when we go on our trips. The massive success of the program allows him to do what's called a stampede every year, right? Stampede. And usually it's at Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati. He lives here. He's a Reds fan. But every so often does one at the Field of Dreams out in Iowa. And that's what's going on this weekend. So we are getting in the car tomorrow. We are going to drive out to Dyersville, Iowa. Sleep tomorrow. Get up out there in Dyersville. For those of you who have seen the movie Field of Dreams, the actor who plays John Kinsella, the father, at the end where it's, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?" That actor's name is Dwyer Brown, and he bought a building in Dyersville and turned it into what's called the baseball building. And part of it has artifacts and stuff from the movie, replica stuff from the movie. Part of it is kind of like a little, old time actual baseball memorabilia stuff. There's a batting cage, and it's like $5 to enter. So we'll do that Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is the Stampede. So we'll drive over to the Field of Dreams. Dyersville's about that big. You drive about 10 minutes up the road, just on the outskirts of town, and there's the movie site. And so we'll check in at 3:00. Then we're going to tour the actual house from the movie. We're going to have, hot dogs, hamburgers, popcorn, stuff like that. The kids 12 and under will get to run the bases and take some batting practice and stuff on the field from the movie. And then from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., there's going to be a little, just a fun softball game. So there's 4 teams, and each team has got like 50 people on it because so many people want to play. So each inning first game will be from 7 to 8, second game 8 to 9. And what's going to happen is each inning, 10 people will hit and then go play the field. And next thing it's a different 10 people and so on and so forth. Well, I've got the opportunity to actually captain one of these teams for this event. So it's going to be pretty cool. I am Team Terrence Mann, which was James Earl Jones's character from the movie. So we're looking forward to it. And then to close the night, after the softball stuff, everybody breaks out their blankets and their lawn chairs and stuff. And we're actually going to sit on the field, the movie site field, and watch the movie from 9 to 11. And that's the end of the day. Back to the hotel, sleep, get up, drive back home on Sunday. Look, I know it might sound a little cheesy to you non-baseball folks, but for someone like me and something I get to do with my sons, just an absolutely fantastic opportunity. And, kind of the last hurrah for the summer here. And specifically with my oldest, Grady, who, come this time next year, he'll be at his basic training in likely Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So, kind of just trying to get in as much stuff as I can with my boys while I have the opportunity. And this is a great event, and it's a really great program, and it's a fun thing. And so, if you're like me and you like the ballpark chase, hit me up. I can, we'll get you over to the website. I'll tell you how to order. If you've been to a bunch of ballparks already, it's no problem either. If you were to order one of these books, you could give them the dates. I think it's like an additional couple of dollars per stamp, but you give them the dates that you were there, they'll backstamp it for you. All the way back to 2012. Anything before that, they could put the month and day, leave the year blank, and you could write that in yourself once you got your book. But it has a spot for game day facts too. Like this is the White Sox one. And you see the pitchers, time of the game, all that stuff. The box score over here. And every single, and then game day memories up here. So every single stadium has that in there. The front of the book, it's got a little pouch to put game tickets in. Of course, that's not the thing anymore, unfortunately. There's Stampede stuff that I've got in here. Gives you a little rundown of the program itself. Then in here, it tells you where to go to get your stamp, no matter what ballpark, your validation stations. It gives you the listings of all of the major league teams. So it tells you, the address, phone number, all of that stuff. If you want to write to the team, if you just needed the address, so you need to put it in GPS. And then here you have a map. And over on this side, it'll give you the distance from one stadium to the next if you were playing in road trips. Over on this side, it lists the American League and National League and the teams broken down by division. And then there's the map of the United States where every team is. Something cool that comes with the book is little stickers there look like baseball diamonds with numbers inside of them. And you put the numbers on the stadiums that you go to. And then there's a few for check marks for your specialty sites, Field of Dreams, Hall of Fame, Negro Museum, all that stuff. So it's a cool program. It's a lot of fun. They also have minor league passports. They have a game day validation one where if you've already been to a are you going to get Liam?
I already did.
Oh, if you're going to a stadium that you've already been to, you can just pick up one of these and then you stamp. If there's nothing, it's not specific. The pages aren't specific to any ballpark. It's just a game day stamp. So it's a fun program and a really great community. And it's something I'm really happy I found, and it's a way to commemorate going to all of these ballparks, because it used to be you could keep game tickets, right? That was the way to do it. Game tickets aren't a thing anymore. It's all electronic now, especially post-COVID. So we have our passports, we get our stamps, and then the boys always get the ice cream and the mini helmets at each ballpark. So they've got stacks of those. We've been to, I think it's 16 ballparks together now. I have been to 20 overall. Some of them not active anymore. But yeah, good times. So, all right, I'm going to put the link up here. And for the last few minutes, we can talk about whatever you want. Here it is. Bada bing. What is you guys all begging me to give him the link? I need a link, bro. All right, well, it's up, Califoot. Link is up. And I know football tonight. I get it. And Eagles practice tonight. I did see a lot of you that were not going to go just because of the heat. I don't blame you. I'd rather not step outside anymore tonight either. Unfortunately, I still have things to do to get ready to leave early tomorrow morning. But yeah, Califoot, come on in and give us your boner of the week real quick before I got to wrap things up and get packed up and ready. And it's only a couple of days, so it's not going to take me that long. But I think I still have to run to the store and get snacks and shit for the road. Mike English, I've got stacks of mini helmets too, smacking them out of 10-year-olds. It's at the ballpark. My man. That is funny. Come on, Califoot, where you at? I don't have all night here. Oh, there he is. Wham, hot wham. Oh, here we go.
What's up, buddy?
If you were paying for someone to drive you somewhere, you would want the freaking AC on too when it's 102 degrees outside.
I've been in many semis where my tri-pack didn't work and I had to sleep in the heat.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. I am paying this person to take me somewhere. Not getting paid to take something somewhere. Totally different. If it was my own car, I wouldn't bitch at all. It's my problem. But I'm paying you to take me somewhere, and I ask you to turn the air on. You completely freaking ignore me while you're wiping sweat off your brow.
You could have had the windows up.
I probably would have kicked his ass at that point.
Well, he could have. He could have. He at least had the windows down for you.
And he could have gotten the shit kicked out of him too, but that didn't happen.
Hey, how about that boner of the week, that ass hat? You know, because that's what you Yankees fans are. That ass hat that smacked the shit out of that Phillies fan. How about that boner of the week, guy?
Really?
Did you see that?
That's where you're gonna go with this?
No, but I'm asking you. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
You didn't want to put that up there as a boner of the week? Idiot.
Find me a sporting event where that doesn't happen, and I'll be glad to start calling.
Okay, you know why he wasn't the boner of the week? Because he was a Yankees fan, so that's why he wasn't up there.
No, he's not the boner of the week because when a guy is allowed to get in a boxing ring and punch a woman, that supersedes a couple of idiot fans. I don't give a shit what team they root for.
I got you. It's up there. It's up there, but I think that should have been mentioned.
It's up there? There's nothing more egregious than this. Nothing. Nothing. There should never be a time when a biological male is allowed to be in a boxing ring with a biological female. That should never happen. Ever.
You're also telling me that a guy who smacked the shit out of a Phillies fan for just standing there, that was okay, though.
You want to know why you want it to be the boner of the week? Because you hate the Yankees. That's why.
Damn right I do.
Right. So that's why you want it to be that way. Unfortunately, that shit happens at every game, including at Eagles games. I know because I've witnessed my own brethren, and I'm using brethren as a broad term as far as, Eagles fan base, acting just as stupid, not only to other fans, but to each other. So if that stops happening across the league, I could go to a game tonight somewhere and somebody's fighting someone because they drank too much.
That wouldn't be.
So when that stops happening at every sporting event, I'll be happy to call out the one idiot Yankee fan that does it. Sure. No problem.
Hey, that Jacksonville game was pretty good, dude.
What Jacksonville game?
The one where I was texting you about?
Oh, down at yeah. The Iron Pigs?
Yeah, I met up with Cody Clemens. Very nice guy.
I saw the pictures. That was cool, dude.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah. Minor league games are fucking awesome, dude. They really are.
$30 to sit in that front row?
You're right behind the plate, right in the front row, dude. $30. Any major league ballpark, you spend $30, you're way up. Not even at the front of the upper deck. You're all the way up in the freaking nosebleeds. Now, especially if you got a family and small kids or whatever, minor league games are the way to go, dude.
Yeah.
They're more affordable, and it's usually like a more family atmosphere, right? The mascots are more interactive. They do other fun shit for kids. Yeah, minor league games are a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Not just the Savannah Bananas or anything either, but yeah.
I got a baseball that game, and you know where the players come out because, dude, you're right next to them. I mean, if somebody tells you where they come out and where that bus is, you're meeting all of them. You know, and I got Elliot assigned, the whole baseball signed by all the players. It was a great time. It was a very nice time. And for $30, you really can't beat it.
No, not at all, dude. I support it. I hated when I heard, was it last year or the year before, when they downsized the minor leagues and a bunch of teams got cut. I can't stand that stuff, man. It's taking away opportunities from guys, and it's taking away opportunities for, you know, fathers like yourself and myself to take your entire family to a ball game without having to, you know, sell a testicle. You know what I mean? Like
the guy that I was sitting next to said that his season tickets per seat was $1,700. Where I was sitting, where I showed you where I was sitting at.
Right. So right behind the plate. And how many games is that?
Oh, you know better than I do.
No, I don't know how many they would play. It's not as many as the big club. But
isn't it like
still
75?
I mean, even still, dude. Let's just say it's half the season, 81 games, right? I mean, what is that? Quick math. 1,700. Well, I don't know. You said your seat was $30, right?
Yeah, but I got that off StubHub, so I don't know what the original.
Let's just take that. What the fuck? Why won't this work? There we go. 1,700 divided by 30. 1,700 divided by 30 would be 56 games. So that might be about right. You know, you figure half of their schedule is home games, and 55, 56, 58 games for $1,700. It's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
You know? I used to have two seats in the freaking bleachers at Old Yankee Stadium for 26 games. And it was like $600. And that was 22, 23 years ago. You know? What else you got?
I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of so mad at you didn't tell me you're coming up to Dyersville, dude.
There's no time for me to shake away from anything, dude. None.
Ruth was like, yeah, I even saw that. Ruth was like, what the hell? Why didn't he tell you were coming up? I was like, I don't know. That's Gilmore for you.
If I thought for a second that I was going to have any free time, I would have told you about it months ago.
I know you would.
Months ago.
I know you would.
But we're driving up tomorrow. We'll get in late afternoon, early evening, be exhausted from the road, eat dinner, crash. Next morning, baseball building, stampede. We're there at the field until 11 o'clock at night. Back to the hotel, crash, and then we're getting up and driving right back Sunday morning.
What hotel are you staying at? Because I'm trying to think around there. There's really nothing there.
There's nothing there, dude. I told the boys, usually when we're on the road, we'll stay at like Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, which they don't have that there, dude.
No, we're staying at a Motel 6.
Okay.
So I told the boys, I said, boys, you might want to temper your expectations for the hotel on this one.
No, there's nothing there, bro. There's nothing there.
I know. It's either, if you want to stay in town, you're staying at a Hotel 6, a Comfort Inn, or you can go back out to Dubuque and stay in something a little bit better. But I'm like, I don't want to drive that far. I'm just going to stay here. It's 2 nights. It ain't going to hurt anything. You know what I mean? It'll be fine.
Don't they have one of those like America Inns or whatever the hell they're called? I forget what they're called.
They have some other shitball looking place there too. I don't know. There was one that was, I think the one I picked was like middle of the road price. So there was one that was real cheap. There was one that was way more. This one was right in the middle. I'm like, okay, it's got a small breakfast that's for free. We're just going to do that. And it's 2 nights.
You're at a Motel 6, dude. That breakfast ain't going to be nothing more than maybe a slice of bread.
That's what I told them, bro. I'm like, we're still going to have to go eat somewhere, man. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
Well, there is a Casey's, I think, right there, isn't there?
There's a, there's a McDonald's. There's some other shit. But really what I'm looking for is I want to find like the Greasy Spoon small town diner. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for.
There is one. Off my head, I don't know what it's called, but there is one. Because I thought about staying there. That first time they had that baseball thing, I think it was the Yankees were playing there, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. First one was the Yankees and White Sox. Yankees and White Sox. Yeah.
White Sox.
It was Yankees and White Sox because of the movie. Yeah.
And I don't think it was a bar, but it was like a diner. I swear there's one right there.
There's a bar. I know that because I asked on one of my ballpark chaser pages. I'm like, hey, guys, only time I was ever at the Field of Dreams before was 5 years ago. And it was an afternoon stop on our way from Minneapolis back down to St. Louis. So, and I didn't stay. We weren't stopping there to eat. I said, now I'm staying there for 2 nights, 1 day. And I need to know where to eat dinner, right? The first night. Other than that, it's dinner dinner tomorrow night, breakfast the next morning. After that, all the food is covered by the event we're going to. So
okay.
That's really all. And some guy said something about a bar, and I'm like, look, I want to stay in Dyersville. I'm not trying to drive all over.
No, I think it's right there. So when you get off exit, I don't know what it is off my head, but when you go down that long road to get where the thing is, I think before you get on that long road, there's a bar right there.
Yeah, somebody said something about a bar. Somebody said something about a place like there's a pizza place, a local,
yeah,
type of place. And then other people were like, "Well, you can go to Dubuque." I'm like, "Did you miss the part in my post where I said local Dyersville?" Like I'm driving 7.5 hours to get out there. I ain't trying to drive a half an hour to go have dinner. Not gonna happen. I'll end up at McDonald's before I'll do that.
How are you getting there?
We're driving.
No, I thought you were flying, dude. I'm saying, are you going to take 80 to 294 to 88?
Oh, let me pull it up here real quick. I've got it. Give me 1 second, bud. There we go. Home to Dyersville, Iowa. All right, let's see here. So from here, I'm going to go 74 out through Indianapolis. And then 74 comes up into Davenport. It's basically 74 like all the way out, dude. And then in Davenport, I'll cut over on 80 and pick up 61. Which then gets me just south of Dubuque. And then I end up on 20. Take some secondary road for a piece, and then 20 goes right into Dyersville. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's really not that difficult. It's like 4 different roadways, dude, and I'm there. You know?
Well, dude, once you get into Iowa, make sure you make that thing per. Because I'm telling you, there's no cops. There's no cops at all. So you can go as fast as you want. I'm telling you won't stop.
I ended up with a Challenger, so the temptation's going to be with the fucking Hemi engine. That's going to be tempting.
But what I'm telling you is, and I'm not steering. Well, obviously, I drive. What I'm telling you is, once you get into Iowa, especially those back roads, dude, people drink and drive back there. That's all Iowa is. It's a big drinking and fire pit area. I'm telling you, there's no cops at all. So not fun. Let that thing purr.
So the hotel we're staying at is, where is it? Yep. So I'm sorry, Super 8 by Wyndham. Whatever the fuck. It's right next door to the National Farm Toy Museum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun with the corn.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're there for, dude. I mean, I'm gonna bring my Mantle jersey, and I'm gonna have the boys record me walking into the corn with the Mantle jersey on.
Yep.
We tried to do that 5 years ago, but we were out there late June, and you live out there. So what did I tell you about corn? Knee high by the 4th of July, right?
Uh-huh.
So we were out there late June, and that corn was it wasn't even up to my knees. So I was like, God damn it. This time is going to be different. We'll be able to actually be able to enjoy that. So
how's the weather?
It's going to be a good time. Yeah, going to be a good time.
How's the weather?
Weather is actually supposed to be really good. It's going to be hot and humid. It's Iowa. So
Okay.
we're going to bring bug spray and all of that happy shit. You're out there in the cornfields. You got to have it. But we'll be ready for it. Yeah. The bottom line, it's not supposed to rain. So that's really what we're after. If it's hot and humid, it's hot and humid.
We got pounded with rain. Things got flooded. I don't know if I told you or not, but one of the dams up there broke. Not near you, but Iowa just got pounded with rain. So I'm glad
all that shit comes right down through here too. We had we had a scare the other night. We had the sirens going off, and we're watching the news, and it actually got to the point where the screen went blue, and the actual emergency thing came on the television, and my daughter gets scared and shit. But by the time it crossed Indiana into Ohio and got close to us, and this happens a lot right here in this area I'm in, it starts to get close to here, and it weakens. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a wicked storm, but it weakens just enough where we don't ever really see the rotation. Nothing quite that drastic, thank God, because that would freak me out. And it's always at night with that shit too, so you can't see it coming.
Yeah,
which really pisses me off.
I was told Des Moines got up to 90 miles an hour winds last night, so it was crazy.
Now driving out there tomorrow, there's chance of storms will be passing through and stuff. So I mean, the thing is, we're leaving early in the morning, so I'm not in a big rush. If it takes us 10 hours, then it takes us 10 hours, and we'll stop along the way. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Just want to get there safe and have a good time. That's all. Yep. But that's about all I got, man.
Yeah. No, that's all I got too. Last week was hell. Well, you know how it is with trucking, so.
Yeah, I know.
But I would drop. I thought about dropping you a line, and we share shit on Facebook all the time. So.
I didn't talk too much shit about the series last weekend. I let it go. Well, because we beat the hell out of you. That's why.
Yeah. Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Aaron Judge was the biggest reason why.
Yeah. He's a bum. He's a has-been.
He's a bum.
He's a has-been.
He's a has-been. Has-been was Mike Trout, dude.
Yeah, I saw that today. But my boner of the week, and I thought about it all day, had to be that fan. Dude, I mean, how do you smack a Phillies fan for just standing there? And I mean, you only see what happened at that point. So I don't know if the guy was running his mouth or not. But, dude, that guy just leveled him.
Time out. You trying to tell me there was a question as whether or not a Phillies fan was running their mouth? Come on.
We don't know.
And that's where that's another reason why I can't do it, is because it's a Philly fan, dude. I've watched these people in action, right? Like, these are not innocent humans, bro. Like, come on here. I'm not excusing what that Yankee fan did. That's bullshit. But I would say that about any fan anywhere. There's just never a reason to do shit like that, ever. There's not. But it happens at every single game. It's just a matter of somebody has a camera on him or not.
Yeah. And he was wearing those ugly-ass pinstripes, so, you can't say anything about that, right, buddy?
Yeah, it's still the most beautiful fucking uniform in baseball, brother.
Ugly. All right, man. Love you.
All right, brother. You be good. Drive safe. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll talk again soon, brother.
Love you.
Take care. All right, folks. That's gonna wrap it up. I know a bunch of you kind of bailed already, but we're gonna get going here. I got some shit to do. So I am off to Iowa tomorrow. I'm gonna turn on the football game over here. Not sure how much I really want to watch it, but we're gonna do it anyways. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. Next week, we will, I promise next week we will get more into training camp. The baseball thing tonight because, it's a special thing I'm doing with my boys over the weekend. But for all of you that are in the room, for Califoot coming in to join us, Keenan Harmon, Mike English, Fanny, Lou Mancini, and all you other maniacs out there. And I know there's only a few of you because we're relegated just to YouTube right now. This has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio, part of the Green Legion Radio family, and proudly brought to you by the beautiful women at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Call 215-467-1980. Folks, y'all be good. Enjoy the upcoming weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be safe. Remember that Judge will not be back in until Monday. And as always, folks, go Birds.